It's Jim. Hope everybody is safe and well. It's pretty crazy out there. So we are just kind of hunkered down in the house. It's raining all day, so there isn't much to do outside either. So I'm here making videos. I have a stack of records that I bought not too long ago because there was a sale on one of the, I think it's Universal's site. I can't remember what it's called. But it was like a 40% off sale, and there'd been a lot of records on my list to replace, but I hadn't replaced them because they were all kind of really popular records, and I kind of figured they'd be around forever and they wouldn't really be a challenge to pick up, so they just hadn't been a priority for me. But, you know, to get them at a pretty good deal for, you know, new, I thought, now's the time. So I picked up a stack. These are mostly 90s-ish, with the exception of a couple of them. And so I'll just go through them in chronological order, and we'll see what we've got. First one is Lou Reed, Transformer. I don't think I have to convince anybody that this is a classic. This is from 1972. This pressing is actually from, what, 2017? Yeah, on RCA. There's nothing in this stack that is like a, I don't know, there's no colored vinyl or anything really unusual about any of the records. But they're just all good, clean, new listening copies, and so I'm really happy to have all of them. Transformer, phenomenal record, you know, Perfect Day, Walk on the Wild Side, Satellite of Love. If those were the only 3 songs Lou Reed had ever written, he would still be a god. So it's a record I think everyone should own. Next, we jump up to 1989 and Nirvana with Bleach. This is, I think, like a 2009 pressing on Sub Pop. Nirvana's first LP. It's a really good record. I mean, I'm sure most of you know this record. It's not as kind of polished as Nevermind. It's a little bit more of their punk roots, but it's still Nirvana, and it's still great stuff. I actually saw them on just a little bit after this came out. I saw them in 1990, and the lineup was Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and Dale Crover, I think, on drums. So it wasn't Nevermind material, but it's very possible they sang some songs from that. I'm not sure. I knew the Bleached material when I saw them, but I just remember they played some songs that I didn't know, and it was a good show. Cobain was kind of, I think he started off by like backing off into the audience and falling into the pit. It was fun. They were opening for Sonic Youth, so at a venue in San Francisco. Next is Gish from Smashing Pumpkins. This is their first LP from, what, 91? Yeah. And this pressing is 2011. So gatefold. This is the first time I've actually had this on vinyl. I originally had it on CD, so I wasn't replacing the vinyl with this. But on Virgin, the packaging is nice on this. I like the gatefold and I like the metallic finish to the cover. This was always my favorite Smashing Pumpkins record. I wasn't really a fan of Smashing Pumpkins much beyond this record. Their music was fine. I enjoyed it, but I liked the roughness of this first record. It was a little bit more interesting to me than Melancholy and all the other records, which were really well done, but it was probably similar to my feelings on REM, where their first 3 records, Chronic Town, Murmur, and Reckoning, were the ones that I really connected to. And then after that, they made a series of just phenomenal records that I'd enjoy listening to, but I didn't connect to in the way that I connected to the early ones. Next is also from 91, or yeah. Yep, if I didn't say that, Gish is 1991. The Low End Theory from a Tribe Called Quest. Amazing record. If anybody out there hasn't heard it, it is, I always thought that this record was kind of the real beginning of just a real flow in hip hop that hadn't really existed before them. Bits here and there, but they kind of really owned that. You can put this record on any track, and there's no bad tracks on this record. It's a double LP on Jive. I don't know what to say other than I love this record. It kind of falls in with, for me in that time frame, it falls in with De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising and Beastie Boys' Paul's Boutique as kind of the hip hop records that meant the most to me at that time, along with Public Enemy, Takes a Nation of Millions. It was a great time. Like, everything was new in hip hop at that time, so really fun. Another 1991, NirvanaNevermind. I hadn't been able to replace this one yet, so I went for just the standard black vinyl, normal edition. This is what 2013 pressing. On Geffen. I didn't want to, there's a million pressings of this record, and there's like a multi-disc 25th anniversary and 20th anniversary and probably a 10th anniversary, and I don't know, there's a lot of these, but I was really happy to just get regular record like I had and keep it simple. It was a great record at the time. It's still a great record. 1994, Radiohead, The Bends. This is, a 2016 pressing on XL. I'm not going to talk too much about these records because just everybody knows them already, and I don't really have any stories to tell about a lot of these. Fake Plastic Trees and My Iron Lung, and it just, you know this record, it's great. 1996, Fuji's The Score. This is a double LP, gatefold. Let's see, who's this on? Columbia, 2017 pressing. I haven't had a chance to listen to all these records. I did listen to, well, I listened to several, but I listened to this one, and I'm not wild about the pressing quality on this. It's kind of noisy vinyl, but honestly, it's still better than, you know, what an original would probably sound like that I could afford. So I'll still listen to it and I'll still enjoy it and just deal with a little bit of static. So this is 1999, Sigaros Agatis Burjun, something like that. I don't know. And this is a 2019 pressing, so it's the 20th anniversary, I suppose. The vinyl on this, the quality on this is spectacular. It's really a beautiful pressing, and it sounds amazing. And I was very happy with it. I remember when I first got this record, I was working as a programmer and designer, and we were trying to get a product out, and I was basically, you know, trying to shepherd it through, and we had to pull a few all-nighters, and I had to basically babysit the programmer to make sure that he kept working, which on so many levels is awful. There's no reason why anybody should ever have to do that to another human being, and there's no reason why he should have had to work, you know, 24 hours at a stretch. But we just listened to that over and over again, and it was just such beautiful music to just kind of loop, and it kind of kept us focused. And you know, that was my first round with Sigaros, and there's been, you know, every record since has been the same beautiful experience. 2000, Radiohead's Kid A. Another gatefold. This is 2016 pressing on XL. I haven't listened to this yet, but I'm expecting it to sound good. The other Radiohead pressings I've had on XL have all sounded good. So, looking forward to that. I'm not going into a lot of these records because they're really well known. 2002, Flaming Lips, Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. Just a beautiful record from them. This is, you know, Flaming Lips went through, have gone through many different sort of phases in their career, but I just think that this is a, you know, beautiful record start to finish. 2000, what is it? Okay, we're up to 2007 with Amerykah Badu. This is New Amerykah Part 1. And this is another gatefold. I think these records, Part 1 and Part 2, are probably the least listened to of her records. they're records that I haven't listened to as much as I've listened to the other records as well. But she's never made a bad record in my mind. Cover art is actually Emek, E-M-E-K. Great illustrator and poster artist. I don't know if you can see the illustrations on the inside, but he reminds me a lot of an artist named Kaza from the 70s and 80s. Phenomenal illustrator from France, I believe. Okay, we're up to, yeah, we're still in 2007. Bona Bears, For Emma, Forever Ago. This is Bona Bears' debut LP. This pressing, I think, is what, 2012 on Jaguar. And the cover is different. The original cover was slightly different, which I've never actually seen the original cover in person, but I do know that there was an original pressing that was slightly different. Bona Bears, beautiful. This is, you know, I have another one in here in a minute, but they've got 4 releases, I guess, and they're all good. Beautiful, beautiful music. 2008, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Dig, Lazarus Dig. This is the last of the studio LPs from Nick Cave that I had to replace. So I have all of his studio LPs and quite a few others. This comes with a lyric book. With lyrics. And Nick looking like a badass. Yeah. Again, never made a bad record. There's just nothing that I dislike about any of the Nick Cave records. This record is really, it's a modern day take on the Lazarus myth. So there you go. And finally, this is 2011 with Bona Bears, the last of the Bona Bears records that I was replacing. Gatefold. And that's it. Oh, that's also on Jaguar. I'm not going to do any needle drops because I think everybody knows every, well, it's all well-known music. I hope you're all safe and well and stay that way. I'm probably going to try and do a few other videos soon. Not really a lot to do on a rainy day when you can't leave the house. So take care, everyone.